Alright, y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I see a lot of people are talking about the results of the blackout, and I'm going to talk about it in a different way.
Math and history class are in session.
Stay tuned.
All right, to know where you're going, you have to know from which you've come. And so we're going to look at season 4's average viewership for Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? Now, I consider this the first part of the season. However, they say it's season 4, okay? So let's look at those numbers. All right, so let's start with the fact that Love and Marriage Huntsville is OWN's #1 show, all right? It's their #1 TV show on their network, okay? So when we look at season 4 of this show, there was an average of 452,000 viewers, okay? 452,000 viewers watched for season 4, okay? Now, when we look at season 5, all right, with the season premiere on September 10th, all right, there was 495,000 viewers. So just jumping off from that first part of that season to the second part, there were more viewers, okay, in general. Overall, there have been more viewers in season 5 / part 2 of Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? Now, for the episode with, the fight and the brawl at the Riri opening, that episode garnered 518,000 viewers, okay? Then, when we go to that next episode, and I still call that episode the meeting about meeting, where everybody was just meeting. That's all it was a bunch of meetings. So, for that one, that garnered 513,000 viewers, okay? Now, when we insert the talk about the blackout, that was for this most recent episode, okay? And let's talk about the numbers, the viewers for that particular episode. All right, so are you ready for it? Drum roll. 509,000 viewers, okay? So, let's look at that, all right? From 518,000 to 513,000 to 509,000. So, let's talk about, was the blackout successful? Now, granted, everyone's going to have their opinion about it, right? For some people, seeing a, 4,000 viewer deduction is great and this is success. For others, it's like a small dent. So it's all depending on how you look at it. Some people talk about the rating or the ranking of the system as far as what show is #1 versus, #2 and all that stuff. However, we know that every week there's different shows that come on. It's pretty much like when the Grammys come on, you'll see Bravo. They might skip that week because they don't want to compete with the Grammys or the Oscars, bigger shows like that. So we always see that kind of dance between what shows are actually being put out for that particular day. Now, all right, so to sum up the numbers game, okay, in this math that we're going through, 509,000 viewers is higher than what the average viewership was for season 4, okay? And it's also higher than what the mid-season premiere was, okay? So hold on to that because there might be a reason why, all right, the blackout did not result in higher, okay, deductions of viewership, and I'm going to talk about why. All right, so I'm going to go down a history of reality TV, okay, of a show that had a lot of fallout and backlash as a result of the treatment of cast members to this particular person, in addition to how producers and hosts treated this person, okay? And we're going to compare A Tale of Two Cities and talk about what we can learn from this, all right? And how it compares and some things that can be done as far as this fallout with markscott, all right? So, I'm going to give you some clues to this show. Okay, let's see how many of you know it, because I know that some people don't like to watch Ratchet TV. That's already a clue. And some people do like to watch Ratchet TV. Some people like wholesome shows. Some people like, shows like Young and the Restless, All of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives? Yes. Some people like to watch Housewives. Some people like to watch just different things, right? So, first clue. This show, by most, is considered a little bit ratchet, okay? This show was a birth from the wife or ex-wife of a former professional athlete. Okay, this show chronicles and follows the lives of former wives or girlfriends of professional athletes. Does anybody know what show I'm talking about? Any guesses? Okay, so this show is called Basketball Wives, all right? Now, I don't know if some of you remember, but there was a season in which there was a Nigerian woman, okay, a very proud Nigerian woman on the show, and she dealt with what some could say some treatment that was just not fair, okay? There were a lot of things that happened that season. She, came in. She was who she was, and she was not apologizing for it. And some of the ladies, they did not like her, or they did not take well to her. And so you could see the division that was created amongst the group. All right. So to make a long story short, all right, this Nigerian woman was somewhat isolated. She was ostracized from the group. A lot of things were questionable as far as things like the reunion. During the reunion of that show taping, they made her sit in a separate room because a person said that they felt threatened by her, and she had to record from a separate room while all the other cast members were able to sit out because that cast member felt like she was a threat. Okay, although this said cast member also has done far worse than this woman ever did. Now, it caused outrage, okay, on social media. Outrage. The Nigerian woman also decided to, use her voice and talk about the treatment and how she felt about things. She gave us information that was behind the scenes. So it was like she was speaking up and the viewers literally saw it happen, right? So when you're talking about the fact that it's right there in your face, like you're watching a woman, okay, who's done less than another woman have to be put in a cage, have to be put in a back room because she is too dangerous to be on stage with other people. We watched that, right? I don't know if you watched it. This might not be a show that you're familiar with, but we all saw it. It wasn't something that was happening on social media, although there were things happening on social media. This stuff was in our face.
So it ultimately led to a lot of backlash and a lot of things changing for that show.
So that leads me to my next point about Love and Marriage Huntsville. This whole markscott situation is one that's been, I would say, 80 to 90% of it is been online, on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram. All these things, all these interviews that he's doing out here in these streets, okay? Running raggedy in these streets, jumping from live to live to live, trying to figure out how he can get, okay, his 2 seconds of fame, all right? Now, a lot of this stuff that's happened with markscott has not been on the show, if we're honest. Okay, it's not been on the show. Martell brought it up at that last reunion, where he cocked his head to the side and asked Van, yeah, you were with Mark. Yeah, you were. Yeah. You were going to see him. You were going, that's really when it really started buzzing, right? And that was just a little dash because right after that reunion, nobody really cared. Right? Then this season, it came back around where it's almost like producers said, talk about it. Just throw it out there, talk about it. And so there was a little dash of it. But in actuality, all right, if you're not on social media, if you're not out here in these streets, in these social media streets, you don't really understand what's happening with this brother.
So there are a lot of people that are tuning in and they don't really know the backstory, right? So it's a very small subset of people that understand the ins and outs of this whole situation.
The reason why the backlash was somewhat effective on Basketball Wives is because it was in our face, okay? Whereas this situation is not living on the TVs, it's living on social media.
So let me know what you think. Do you think the fact that a lot of this viewers are not really seeing to understand what's going on, and that's why the numbers are still pretty much in the average range? Because most of this stuff is happening on social media. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.